Have you ever wondered how your favorite chocolate bar is made? Let's embark on a delicious journey, starting from the very beginning. Nestled in the tropical regions near the equator, we find the cacao tree, the unsung hero of our chocolate tale. This tree is the source of all the chocolate in the world, producing the precious cacao beans that are the heart and soul of every chocolate bar. Now, not all cacao trees are created equal. There are three main types: Forastero, Criollo, and Trinitario. The Forastero is the most commonly found, known for its robust and strong flavor. The Criollo, on the other hand, is a rare gem, producing beans with a delicate and complex taste. And then we have the Trinitario, a hybrid of the two, balancing strength and subtlety in its flavor profile. The major players in cacao production are the Ivory Coast and Ghana, but we also have smaller markets in South America and Africa, contributing to the global chocolate pot. So it all starts with these cacao trees and their precious beans. After the cacao beans are ripe, they are harvested by hand. The process is as delicate as it sounds. Workers carefully pluck the football-shaped pods from the Theobroma cacao trees, being sure not to harm the tree or the beans inside. Once gathered, the cacao pods are opened with a swift, precise cut of a machete, revealing the beans and pulp inside. Now, you may be wondering, why not just scoop out the beans and get on with it? Well, that's where the magic of fermentation comes in. The beans and the pulp are placed together in a container, kickstarting a natural process that can last anywhere from 2 to 8 days. During this time, the sugars in the pulp ferment and produce heat, which in turn initiates changes in the beans. This mellowing process is crucial as it helps to develop the complex fruity undertones we associate with fine chocolate. But it doesn't stop there. The beans need to be turned regularly during fermentation to ensure even exposure to the heat and to prevent mold growth. It's a careful balance, a dance of nature and nurture that transforms these humble beans into the beginnings of something truly delicious. Once fermented, the beans are ready for the next stage, drying. The next step is to dry the beans in the sun. Now imagine these beans basking under the sun's rays, losing their moisture and preparing themselves for the journey ahead. This drying process isn't just about evaporation, it's a crucial stage that stabilizes the beans and makes them safe for shipping. Our beans then embark on a voyage, traveling from tropical regions near the equator to chocolate manufacturing facilities globally. Upon arrival, they are greeted with a warm welcome. Quite literally, I might add, as they are introduced to the roasting process. This is where the magic truly begins. In the roasting process, the beans are heated to high temperatures, a transformative phase that brings out the rich, inviting aroma we associate with chocolate. It's akin to toasting a piece of bread, enhancing its flavors and textures. The heat coaxes out the hidden depths of flavor within each bean, revealing the unique characteristics that make each batch of chocolate distinct. Roasted and ready, the beans now become nibs. These nibs, the heart of the bean, are the foundation of the chocolate we know and love. The journey of our chocolate is far from over, but for now, let's savor the aroma of these roasted beans, anticipating the deliciousness that awaits in the stages to come. The roasted beans are then winnowed to remove the shells, leaving us with nibs. These nibs, my friends, are the heart of the cocoa bean, and they're packed with all the goodness and flavor that we associate with chocolate. Now we take the nibs and start grinding them down. The heat from the grinding process melts the natural cocoa butter present in the nibs, transforming them into a thick aromatic paste. This is what we call cocoa paste or chocolate liquor. It's not the kind of liquor you're thinking of, though. There's no alcohol here, just pure, unadulterated chocolate in its most raw and potent form. But we're not done yet. The chocolate liquor is then subjected to a pressing process. This pressure squeezes out the cocoa butter, leaving behind a solid mass known as the cocoa press cake. This press cake is then pulverized into what we know as cocoa powder, the base for many of our favorite chocolate treats. Now we have our base, the chocolate liquor. This is the starting point for all the delectable chocolate varieties that we know and love. From here, the journey of creating countless chocolate delights begins. Now comes the fun part, turning this chocolate liquor into chocolate. Imagine a painter with a blank canvas. That's what we have here with our chocolate liquor. It's rich, it's flavorful, but it's not quite chocolate yet. We need to add some color to this canvas, and by color I mean other ingredients like milk and sugar. It's the specific ratio of these ingredients that creates the different types of chocolate we all know and love. Now, let's talk about conching. No, we're not heading to the beach. In the world of chocolate, conching is a process where machines knead the chocolate paste. This isn't just a quick mix, oh no. This kneading can go on for several hours, even days. But it's worth the wait. Conching develops the flavor, giving us that melt-in-your-mouth texture we crave. It also helps to mellow any remaining acidic tones, balancing the overall taste of the chocolate. But we're not done yet. The chocolate mixture still needs refining. Think of it like a fine wine. It needs time and precision to reach its full potential. This refining process breaks down any remaining large particles, giving us a smoother, creamier texture. Lastly, it's time for tempering. This is where science meets art. Tempering involves carefully heating and cooling the chocolate to precise temperatures. This process gives the chocolate its glossy finish and that satisfying snap when you break a piece off. And there you have it, your favorite chocolate bar, ready to be wrapped and shipped. So, that's the journey of a cocoa bean to your chocolate bar. A complex process that starts in tropical regions near the equator, where cacao trees thrive. The cacao pods are carefully harvested and the beans and pulp are skillfully separated. The beans then go through a fermentation process, lasting up to 8 days, to mellow the flavor and develop those fruity undertones we love in our chocolate. After fermenting, the beans are dried under the sun, then roasted to bring out that distinct chocolate aroma. The shells are removed, leaving us with cocoa nibs, which are ground into a cocoa paste, otherwise known as chocolate liquor. The cocoa butter is then separated from the paste to create cocoa powder. It's here, in this stage, that the magic happens. Different ingredients like sugar, milk, and sometimes even vanilla are added to the cocoa paste to create various types of chocolate. The mixture is then kneaded in conching machines to develop flavors and texture, resulting in the smooth, melt-in-your-mouth chocolate we all adore. Next time you bite into a chocolate bar, remember the incredible journey it's been on. Now, isn't that a sweet thought? Have you ever pondered the significance of roads in the grandeur of the Roman Empire? Roads, you see, were the lifeblood of ancient Rome, the veins and arteries that connected the heart of the empire to its farthest reaches. The Roman roads were more than just pathways for transportation. They were vital channels for the military, trade, and communication. Picture a legion of Roman soldiers marching swiftly along a straight paved road, their sandals striking the stones in unison. These roads allowed Rome's legions to move swiftly and efficiently, maintaining the empire's far-reaching grasp. Roads were the key to Rome's military might. Now imagine merchants, their carts heavy with goods from distant lands traveling along these same roads. They facilitated trade, bringing prosperity and wealth to the empire. And let's not forget the messengers, sprinting along the roads, carrying missives from Rome to the distant provinces. These roads were the internet of their time, enabling fast and reliable communication. Indeed, the Roman Empire's might was not just about its legions, but also about its roads. The genesis of Roman roads takes us back to 312 BC, with the construction of the Appian Way. The birth of Roman roads wasn't a random event, but a strategic move, a calculated step aimed at strengthening Rome's grip on its territories. The Appian Way, the first major Roman road, was constructed primarily to serve as a supply route during the Second Samnite War. The Samnite War was a critical period in Roman history. The Romans were battling the Samnites, a formidable adversary based in the mountainous region of south-central Italy. The war was brutal, the terrain was challenging, and the Romans needed a reliable way to transport supplies, reinforcements, and information. The solution? A road, but not just any road. A road that was straight, direct, and built with military precision. Thus, the Appian Way was born. The Appian Way was the brainchild of Appius Claudius Caecus, a Roman censor. His vision was to create a road that was not only functional but also symbolized the might and power of Rome. And indeed, the Appian Way did just that. It stretched from Rome to Capua, covering a distance of approximately 132 miles, and it was a marvel of engineering, a testament to the ingenuity of the Romans. But the Appian Way was just the beginning. Its success led to the construction of other roads, each with a strategic purpose. The Via Flaminia was built to connect Rome with the Adriatic Sea. The Via Aemilia was designed to link the wealthy, fertile region of Emilia-Romagna with the bustling port of Rimini. These roads and many others formed the backbone of the Roman road network, facilitating trade, communication, and military movements. As they expanded through Europe, the Romans constructed highways connecting conquered cities to Rome, thereby creating colonies. Thus began the era of Roman road building, a project that would span centuries and mark the empire's dominance. The roads of Rome were more than mere paths. They connected cities, towns, and provinces, binding the empire together in a web of stone and dirt. The inception of Roman roads was a turning point, a moment that set the stage for the rise of one of the greatest empires in history. The Romans were not just avid builders, but also master engineers. Their approach to road construction was revolutionary, and it played a crucial role in the operation of the empire. One of the most striking features of the Roman roads was their straight and direct routes. They didn't believe in meandering paths. Instead, they opted for the shortest distance between 2 points, no matter the terrain. This directness not only facilitated quicker movement for the military, but also eased the transportation of goods and people across vast distances. The construction of these roads was a marvel of ancient engineering. They were constructed with multiple layers to ensure durability and longevity. The base layer, often made of sand or small stones, provided a firm foundation. Above this, larger stones were meticulously arranged and compacted. A final layer of tightly fitted paving stones created a smooth, flat surface. This multi-layered construction ensured the roads could withstand heavy usage and the test of time. But the Romans didn't stop at just building the roads. They understood the importance of navigation and travelers' comfort. Hence, they incorporated mile markers and road signs along the routes. These markers not only guided travelers but also served as a testament to the reach of the Roman Empire. Moreover, to accommodate the needs of those traversing these routes, rest stops and hotels were strategically located along the roads. These establishments not only offered shelter and sustenance to weary travelers, but also served as hubs of social and economic activity. The Romans were meticulous in their planning and execution. They even had soldiers patrolling the roads, ensuring safety and collecting tolls. This level of organization and infrastructure was unprecedented in the ancient world. The Romans had indeed set a high bar in road construction, one that remained unchallenged until the 19th century. Their roads were not just paths from point A to point B, they were lifelines of the empire, facilitating trade, military movement, and cultural exchange. The legacy of their engineering prowess lives on, with many of their roads still in use today. The Roman roads were not merely a testament to the empire's past glory, but they left an enduring legacy. Indeed, their impact stretches far beyond the boundaries of the ancient world and continues to influence our modern road systems. The Romans' ingenious engineering and meticulous planning laid the groundwork for the infrastructure we rely on today. Where once legions marched and chariots rolled, now cars, buses, and trucks traverse, following the same paths that were laid out over 2,000 years ago. Many of these Roman roads are still in use today, a testament to their durability and the Romans' deep understanding of construction and practicality. They stand as silent reminders of a time when Rome was the center of the world, their stone-paved surfaces echoing with the whispers of history. The Roman roads' influence also extended to the way we design and build roads today. The multi-layered construction techniques, the straight and direct routes, the mile markers and road signs, all have their roots in Roman ingenuity. Even the notion of rest stops and hotels along the way is something we've inherited from them. The Roman roads, therefore, are a remarkable testament to the empire's enduring legacy. Their influence is etched into the very fabric of our societies, a silent testament to a civilization that, in many ways, still shapes our world today. So, to encapsulate our journey through the Roman roads, we've seen how these paths were more than mere routes. They were strategic lifelines aiding in the maintenance of a vast empire. Born in the heat of the Second Samnite War, their innovative design and construction ensured durability and efficiency. Even today, their legacy lives on as they remain technologically advanced, some still serving their purpose. The Roman roads were not just a means of transportation, but a symbol of Rome's power, innovation, and enduring influence.
Ever wondered what the difference is between your favorite drinks? Today we're going to explore the fascinating world of alcoholic beverages. From the hoppy taste of beer to the fruity notes of wine, the smoky flavor of whiskey to the smoothness of vodka, each drink has its own unique character and style. They vary not just in taste but in their creation too. The ingredients used, the production process, and even the alcohol content are different for each type. And then there are those like Scotch, gin, rum, tequila, and brandy, each with their own story to tell. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into the specifics of these beverages, unraveling their secrets and understanding what makes each one of them stand out. So whether you're a seasoned drinker or a curious beginner, there's something for everyone. Ready to dive into the world of alcohol? Hold on to your glasses. Starting with two popular choices, beer and wine. They might seem similar, but they're as different as chalk and cheese. Beer is typically made from 4 key ingredients: barley, hops, water, and yeast. The barley is malted, mashed, and boiled with hops before adding yeast to start the fermentation process. This transforms the sugars into alcohol, creating a brew that's light, refreshing, and has an alcohol content of around 4 to 6%. On the other hand, wine is made primarily from grapes. The grapes are harvested, crushed to release their juice, and then fermented. The sugars in the grape juice convert to alcohol, resulting in a drink that's rich, full-bodied, and usually boasts an alcohol content between 12 and 15%. The production process and ingredients used give each drink its unique flavors and characteristics. So, whether you're a lover of the hoppy bitterness of beer or the fruity sophistication of wine, there's a world of difference between these two beloved beverages. So, beer or wine, the choice depends on your palate and the occasion. Moving on to stronger spirits. Whiskey, Scotch, and gin. Each has a distinct flavor profile and production method. First up, whiskey, an iconic spirit made from fermented grain mash, which can include barley, corn, rye, and wheat. The mash is distilled and then aged in wooden casks, generally made of charred white oak. This aging process gives whiskey its distinct complex flavor profile. Whiskey's alcohol content can vary greatly, ranging from 40 to 60%. Next, we have Scotch, a type of whiskey that hails from Scotland. Scotch is made mostly from malted barley and must be aged in oak barrels for at least 3 years. It's renowned for its smoky and earthy flavors, which come from drying the malted barley over peat smoke. The alcohol content of Scotch is typically around 40 to 50%. Lastly, let's turn our attention to gin, a spirit that is distilled from grain and flavored with botanicals, the most important of which is juniper berries. Unlike whiskey and Scotch, gin is not aged and is often clear. Its flavor is fresh and herbaceous, making it a popular choice for cocktails. Gin's alcohol content is typically between 37 and 47%. So there you have it. 3 strong spirits, each with its own unique character, ingredients, and production process. Whiskey with its diverse grains, Scotch with its smoky malt, and gin with its refreshing botanicals. Choosing between whiskey, Scotch, and gin is like picking a favorite child. It's tough, but someone's got to do it. Saving the best for last: rum, vodka, tequila, and brandy. Each of these drinks has a unique story to tell. Let's start with rum. Born in the Caribbean and crafted from sugarcane juice or molasses, rum undergoes a fermentation and distillation process. It's then aged in wooden casks, which gives it its distinct rich flavor. The alcohol content usually ranges from 40 to 50%. Next up, vodka. This clear spirit hails from Eastern Europe and is traditionally made from fermented grains such as wheat or rye, though these days it can be made from anything starchy. It's distilled at a high proof, then watered down to around 40% alcohol. It's known for its neutral taste, making it a versatile mixer. Now let's head over to Mexico for some tequila. Made from the blue agave plant, tequila is distilled twice and categorized based on its aging process. It usually has an alcohol content between 38 and 55%. Remember, it's all about sipping, not shooting. Finally, brandy. This warm, fruity spirit is made from wine or fermented fruit juice that's distilled and aged in wooden casks. Brandy's alcohol content typically falls between 35 to 60% depending on its type. Whether you're a rum aficionado, vodka enthusiast, tequila lover, or brandy connoisseur, there's a drink for everyone. That's a wrap on our journey through the world of alcoholic drinks. From the hoppy froth of beer to the sweet, aged depth of wine, we've covered a lot of ground. We've ventured into the smoky realms of whiskey and Scotch and navigated the botanical twists and turns of gin. We've tasted the sugary allure of rum, the crystal-clear simplicity of vodka, the fiery spirit of tequila, and the fruity richness of brandy. Each drink, unique in its own right, is a testament to the diverse spectrum of flavors and experiences that the world of alcoholic beverages has to offer. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Try something new, experiment with different flavors. You never know, you might just stumble upon your new favorite drink. But as we raise our glasses to toast to this exploration, let's not forget the golden rule. Moderation is key. Remember, the best drink is the one you enjoy responsibly. Cheers to exploring new flavors and making unforgettable memories.
Ever wondered what makes a hero? What journey do they embark on that transforms them into the heroes we admire? This undying curiosity has been addressed by the American scholar Joseph Campbell through The Hero's Journey. He found that many narratives follow a similar structure. This structure is broken down into 3 parts: departure, initiation, and return. In departure, the hero steps out of their comfort zone. In initiation, they face challenges. And in the return, they come back home, enlightened. It's not just about physical adventures, but about personal growth and transformation. The hero's journey is a universal narrative that transcends time and culture, making it a powerful tool for storytelling. The departure marks the beginning of our hero's journey. It's when the ordinary world becomes too plain, and our hero yearns for something extraordinary. This is the call to adventure, the first step of departure. A disruptive event or inner calling stirs the hero, drawing them towards an unknown destiny. But change can be scary. The hero might initially resist the call, a phase known as refusal of the call. They hesitate, burdened by the fear of leaving behind the known. Then comes supernatural aid, when a mentor appears offering wisdom or a magical tool to aid our hero. This mentor helps the hero overcome their fears and prepare for the challenges ahead. Now the hero is ready for crossing the threshold, stepping into the unknown, leaving their familiar world behind. It's a moment of commitment, a leap of faith. Lastly, we have the belly of the whale, the final stage of the departure. Here, our hero experiences a transformation that readies them for the trials ahead. It symbolizes the final cut from their old life. So, the departure is about the hero stepping out of their comfort zone and daring to venture into the unknown. It's a journey of discovery, transformation, and challenge, setting the stage for the grand adventure to come. After crossing the threshold, the hero enters the stage of initiation. This is where the real tests and trials begin. Here, our hero embarks on the challenging road of trials, littered with obstacles that test their resilience and determination. Each trial is a transformative experience that shapes the hero, preparing them for the upcoming ordeal. Despite stumbling, our hero discovers their true potential and inner strength. Next, the hero experiences the meeting with the goddess, a moment of profound understanding. This could be a meeting with a mentor, or a moment of self-realization. It's a turning point where the hero experiences unconditional love and acceptance. However, the journey isn't free of pitfalls, and the hero encounters the woman as temptress stage. Here, woman is metaphorical, symbolizing distraction that may lead the hero astray. It could be fear, doubt, or a tantalizing offer. The hero's inner battle begins, wrestling with their desires and fears to remain true to their mission. The hero's journey then leads to atonement with the father. The father is an authority figure that the hero confronts, often unearthing deep-seated fears. It's a cathartic moment, a confrontation with the past, allowing the hero to reconcile with their personal demons. Finally, the hero reaches the stage of apotheosis. This term from Greek signifies the transformation of the hero into an enlightened state. Having faced trials, the hero gains new wisdom. They've transformed and are ready to face the ultimate challenge. The initiation is a transformative phase where the hero faces challenges, experiences love and betrayal, confronts their deepest fears, and achieves a state of enlightenment. And with that, they are ready to advance to the final stage of their journey, the return. But that, dear friends, is a tale for another time. With the initiation phase wrapped up, the hero must now return home, bringing with them the wisdom and power they've gained. This is the start of the final phase of the hero's journey, the return. Initially, the hero might hesitate to go back, fearing the loss of enlightenment found in the extraordinary world. This stage is known as the refusal of the return. Then we see magic flight, which is the hero's perilous journey back to the ordinary world. During this, their newfound knowledge might lead to a thrilling escape. Often requiring assistance to make it back, the hero experiences the rescue from without. This aid usually comes from a rescuer or guide. The crossing of the return threshold is when the hero steps back into the ordinary world, integrating their experiences and wisdom into their old reality. It's a significant moment. The hero then becomes the master of two worlds, navigating both the ordinary and extraordinary worlds with ease. Achieving a balance between their old and new self is crucial. The final stage is the freedom to live. It signifies the hero's transformation, enabling them to live in the present, free from the past. The return signifies the hero's successful journey from the ordinary to the extraordinary and back, now transformed and ready to share the boon with their world. So, we've traveled through the stages of the hero's journey. But how do these stages connect, and why does this pattern resonate so deeply with us? The hero's journey is a time-honored narrative, rooted in stories across cultures. We start with the departure, where the hero embarks on an unknown journey, marked by various pivotal moments like the call to adventure and the belly of the whale. It's a leap from the comfort zone. The next phase, the initiation, is filled with trials and challenges, allies and adversaries. Stages like the meeting with the goddess, atonement with the father, and the ultimate boon lead to the hero's transformation. The hero acquires knowledge and power, becoming different from before. The final phase, the return, is about reintegrating with the ordinary world, enriched and changed. Stages like the magic flight and the crossing of the return threshold complete this cycle. But why is this narrative so prevalent? It's because it's our story. Each stage symbolizes a stage of life, a challenge, or a fear. It resonates because it mirrors our life. The hero's journey is a guide to personal growth and empowerment, illustrating our potential to face the unknown and emerge stronger. Next time you watch a movie, read a book, or listen to a story, see if you can spot the hero's journey. You'd be surprised how often it appears. Let's bring the hero's journey to life by looking at some examples in popular culture. It's not just a theoretical concept, but a narrative pattern that's been used in countless stories and movies. For instance, in Star Wars, we see Luke Skywalker's journey from a farm boy to a Jedi Knight. He starts his adventure from his home on Tatooine, faces numerous trials, learns from mentors like Obi-Wan and Yoda, and ultimately returns, transforming into a Jedi Knight. In The Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen's journey from a teenager to revolutionary follows the same pattern. To survive and face the ordeals of the Hunger Games, she is tutored by Haymitch Abernathy, Cinna, and Effie Trinket. In the end, she plays a vital part in toppling a dystopian government. And who can forget Harry Potter's journey from an ordinary boy living under the stairs to the savior of the wizarding world? His life in the Dursleys' home, his trials at Hogwarts, and his final confrontation with Voldemort all perfectly fit into the stages of the hero's journey. These are just a few examples. Once you start looking, you'll see the hero's journey everywhere. It's a universal story that continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. Ever wondered about the shadowy figures in black darting across rooftops under the cover of night? Yes, we are talking about ninjas. Who were they, really? Let us take a leap back in time to unravel the enigma of the ninja. The history of ninjas as we know it is shrouded in intrigue and mystery. Some scholars might question their very existence, while others argue that the tales we have heard might be a tad exaggerated. But beneath the layers of folklore and conjecture, there's a dash of truth that spices up the story. Rewind to the 14th century, a time when warlords ruled and the ninja rose. These elusive figures were not just your average mercenaries. They were akin to the intelligence agencies of today, hired by warlords in feudal Japan to gather intelligence, perform counterintelligence, and sometimes a bit of sabotage on the side. But here is where it gets interesting. Unlike the samurai, the highly trained military nobility, ninjas were not confined to a particular social class. They could be anyone, from the farmer tilling his fields to the merchant selling his wares. This social anonymity was their greatest weapon, allowing them to blend into society and carry out their tasks undetected. Their work was not just about physical prowess. Ninjas were masters of the mind as much as they were of the body. They excelled in the art of disguise, subterfuge, and gathering intelligence, often camouflaging themselves as unassuming figures, like merchants or priests. The word ninja itself was unknown in historical texts until the 19th century. Earlier, they were referred to as shinobi, a term hinting at their stealth and expertise in espionage. Unlike the samurai, ninjas came from all levels of society, and they weren't bound by strict codes of honor. They were masters of disguise and subterfuge. So the next time you think of a ninja, remember, they were more than just shadowy figures darting across rooftops. They were the unseen movers of history, the silent whispers in the wind. So, what did it take to be a ninja? Was it all about stealthy assassinations and throwing stars? Well, not really. Being a ninja, or as they were historically referred to, a shinobi, required a vast array of skills and a sharp intellect. Contrary to common belief, ninjas were not just about brute force or flashy martial arts. They were masters of social techniques, adept at blending into different societal roles. This ability to camouflage themselves was crucial to their main duty, gathering intelligence. They could become a merchant, a priest, or even a peasant, anything that allowed them to infiltrate enemy domains without arousing suspicion. But the skills of a ninja did not stop at social techniques. They also had to have a memory sharper than a samurai's sword. They were trained in mnemonics, the art of memory. This allowed them to remember complex routes, passwords, and important information easily, a vital skill in their line of work. And let's not forget, being a ninja was not just about physical and mental prowess, but also about knowledge. They were well versed in medicine, able to treat their own wounds and possibly even poison their enemies. Some historical accounts even suggest that they dabbled in sorcery, although that is a topic of much debate. Being a ninja was about using one's intellect and knowledge to outsmart the enemy. They were strategists, tacticians, and spies, all rolled into one. They would gather information, plan their moves, and strike when the enemy least expected it. Their weapons were not just swords or throwing stars, but also their minds, their ability to blend into society, and their knowledge. Ninjas were not just warriors, they were also spies, blending into society as merchants or priests, using common tools as their weapons. So, the next time you think of a ninja, remember, they were much more than just the shadowy assassins they are often portrayed as. They were, in fact, the ultimate strategists, using their brains as much as their blades. Did you know that not all ninjas were created equal? The best of the best hailed from the provinces of Iga and Koka. Now, you're probably wondering, what made these provinces so special? Well, it's all about the location. Iga and Koka were tucked away in the mountains, providing the perfect natural fortress. This isolation allowed the people of these regions to develop and refine their own unique set of skills, which over time evolved into the art of ninjutsu. But it was not just their geographic advantage that made these provinces significant. Iga and Koka were also home to a rich array of diverse social classes. Unlike the samurai, who were bound by a strict code of honor and came from noble families, ninjas could come from any walk of life. This diversity led to ninjas developing a wide range of skills, from subterfuge and disguise to intelligence gathering. You see, ninjas weren't just warriors, they were spies, infiltrators, masters of deception. They were the unseen hand, the whisper in the night. And it was in Iga and Koka where these skills were honed to perfection. The shinobi of Iga and Koka were so skilled, in fact, that they were often hired by warlords for their intelligence and counterintelligence capabilities. They played pivotal roles in territorial skirmishes and even influenced the course of Japanese history. And let's not forget about their weaponry. While samurai were known for their swords, the ninjas of Iga and Koka were masters of disguise, turning common tools into deadly weapons. A merchant's fan could hide a blade, a priest's staff could conceal a chain. This level of ingenuity was a trademark of the Iga and Koka shinobi. These provinces were the breeding ground for the most elite ninjas, their skills honed to perfection over generations. Ninjas weren't just figments of folklore. They played crucial roles in shaping Japanese history. Now let's dive into the intriguing world of these stealthy figures, starting with a pivotal event, the Honnoji incident of 1582. This was a coup led by the samurai general Akechi Mitsuhide against the then ruler, Oda Nobunaga. Now, you may wonder, where do ninjas fit into this story? Well, they were the unsung heroes, the clandestine operatives who gathered the crucial intelligence that allowed Mitsuhide to successfully carry out his surprise attack. While the samurais were the face of the coup, the ninjas were the invisible hands that set the stage for this historical upheaval. Now let's shift gears and talk about a character who is a bit of a conundrum. Ishikawa Goemon, often dubbed as the Japanese Robin Hood. Legend has it that Goemon was a ninja who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. His audacious exploits made him a folk hero, a symbol of defiance against wealth inequality during the transition to peace in Japan. But here's the catch. Historians debate whether Goemon was a real historical figure or a fictional character. Real or not, his story does highlight the societal role ninjas played, not just as covert operatives but also as champions of the common folk. Whether they were plotting coups or stealing from the rich, ninjas were not just shadowy figures lurking in the dark. They were a significant part of the social fabric, influencing events from behind the scenes. They were the silent movers and shakers, the hidden pieces on the chessboard of history. Whether in the shadows or the limelight, ninjas left an indelible mark on the pages of history. Their legacy continues to captivate us, their stories a testament to the enduring allure of the mysterious and the unknown. From the Honoji incident to the tales of Ishikawa Goemon, ninjas continue to fascinate us, a testament to their enduring presence in the annals of history. From ancient history to the silver screen, ninjas have always captured our imagination. These enigmatic figures have stealthily crept their way into the heart of popular culture, not just in Japan, but globally, wielding a powerful influence that transcends borders and time. Their rise to mainstream popularity can be traced back to the mid-20th century, with the 1967 James Bond film, You Only Live Twice, arguably being a pivotal moment. In this iconic film, Bond himself, the epitome of Western espionage, is trained by ninjas in Japan, a subtle nod to the East-West cultural exchange that was happening at the time. This fusion of the suave British spy with the mystique of the Japanese shinobi captured the world's fascination, firmly planting ninjas in the global consciousness. From there, the ninja craze exploded. They were no longer just figures of Japanese folklore or shadowy operatives in historical texts. They became the stars of comics, cartoons, video games, and blockbuster films. They were suddenly everywhere, from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles chowing down on pizza in New York City sewers, to Naruto Uzumaki, the boisterous ninja in training in the Hidden Leaf Village. But it's not just their martial prowess or stealthy skills that have enchanted us. It's their ethos, their philosophy. Unlike the samurai, bound by a strict code of honor, ninjas were adaptable, flexible, and pragmatic. They used their intellect and knowledge to infiltrate enemy domains, often disguising themselves as everyday people. It's this ability to blend in, coupled with their extraordinary skills, that make them such compelling figures. The enduring allure of ninjas is evident. They continue to inspire, thrill, and captivate us, whether in the pages of a manga, the pixels of a video game, or the flickering images of a cinema screen. They've become an integral part of our cultural fabric, a symbol of intrigue, resilience, and adaptability. Whether they are real or fictional, one thing is certain: ninjas have a permanent place in our hearts and our culture.
Believe it or not, back in the 19th century, people had an irrational fear of steam engine trains. People were afraid of this new technology and the perceived disruptions it would cause, and the disruptions it actually caused. Similarly, today, people have similar fears of artificial intelligence and the perceived disruptions it will cause.
Can you imagine being terrified of a train? Picture this: it's the early 19th century, and there's this monster of iron and steam that's changing the world as we know it. This beast, the steam-powered train, is revolutionizing transport and communication during the Industrial Revolution. It is a sight to behold, but not everyone's thrilled about it. You see, for some, this iron behemoth was a source of fear and anxiety. And why, you ask? It's all about speed, my friends. Before the steam train, horse-drawn carriages and canal boats were the primary modes of transport, reaching speeds of merely 4 to 6 miles per hour. These steam trains were reaching velocities of up to 30 miles per hour. Now, that might not seem like much to us, but back then it was mind-bogglingly fast. There were genuine concerns about whether the human body could withstand such speed. And it wasn't just about the speed, there was something almost unnatural about this machine, huffing and puffing, billowing clouds of steam as it raced across the countryside. It was a spectacle that shook the very foundations of their world. Just picture it, folks in bonnets and top hats fainting at the sight of a chugging locomotive. What if I told you the fear wasn't entirely irrational? Yes, the steam train was an impressive marvel of the Industrial Revolution, But it was not all sunshine and rainbows. Let us take a trip down the dark side of the tracks, shall we? First stop, safety concerns. Picture this. You're peacefully going about your day when suddenly a hulking beast of iron and steam comes hurtling towards you at a whopping 30 miles per hour. That's faster than your horse could ever dream of running. It was a new world, a fast world, and it came with its fair share of bumps and bruises. Collisions were not uncommon, and when they happened, they were disastrous. But wait, there's more. As if potential accidents weren't enough to make your heart race, the environmental and health concerns were enough to send you into a full-blown panic. The steam engines, magnificent as they were, belched out great plumes of smoke, a sight as ominous as it was awe-inspiring. People began to worry about the effects of this relentless smoke on their health and the environment. And let us not forget about the land seizures. Imagine waking up one morning to find surveyors marking out your farmland for a new railway track. The construction of railways was a messy, disruptive business, often requiring the seizure of land. This led to disputes and resentment as people were forced to give up their homes and livelihoods for the sake of progress. So, not only were these trains belching smoke like a dragon, they were also bulldozing people's homes. Talk about a double whammy. But wait, there's more to this tale of steam and fear. Now let's dig deeper into the societal disruptions caused by these iron beasts. The steam trains didn't merely introduce a faster mode of transportation. They were radical game changers, shattering geographical barriers and accelerating urbanization and capitalism. Indeed, these trains were the harbingers of a new world order. As they chugged through the countryside, they brought distant towns within reach, and with them, new opportunities for trade, employment, and social mobility. But this was not without its share of controversy. The once tranquil rural life was disrupted, and the traditional ways of living were threatened. And then there were the superstitions. Oh, the superstitions. The steam train was a beast not only of iron and steam, but also of moral degradation, or so some believed. The very idea of a machine moving at such unnatural speeds was seen as an affront to the laws of nature and God. Additionally, there were fears about the mixing of social classes and sexes in the confined spaces of railway carriages. The moral fabric of society, they feared, was at risk of being torn apart by the thunderous wheels of progress. Imagine the scene, a peaceful rural village, its tranquility shattered by the screeching whistle of a steam train. The villagers look on in horror as the iron beast hurtles through their fields, belching smoke and steam. To them, it's not just a train. It's a symbol of the unknown, the unfamiliar, the unnatural. The train, in their eyes, was a monstrous creature, a demon that threatened to upset the delicate balance of their lives. And so it was that the steam train, this technological marvel, became a symbol of chaos and disruption. It was seen as an instrument of change, yes, but also as a threat to the established order. The fear was not so much about the train itself, but about what it represented, the relentless march of progress, the erosion of tradition, and the uncertainty of a rapidly changing world. From breaking down societal norms to challenging God, these trains were seen as the harbingers of chaos. Looking back, it's easy to scoff at these fears, isn't it? In the early 19th century, the steam train was a behemoth of iron and steam, a monster that roared across the countryside. It broke down the boundaries of the world as people knew it, and with it brought a wave of fear and anxiety. The speed of these steam-powered leviathans caused concerns about safety, and rightfully so, as railway accidents did happen, sometimes with catastrophic results. This new technology disrupted societal norms too. It led to the rapid urbanization of rural areas, contributing to the rise of capitalism. It was seen as a threat to the very fabric of society, a destroyer of the rural way of life. The construction of railways often required the seizure of land, which led to disputes and resentment, further stoking the flames of fear and anxiety. The smoke billowing from the steam engines, too, was seen as a harbinger of environmental and health disasters, adding another layer to the fears surrounding steam trains. Not only was the steam train seen as a disruptor of rural life, but also a catalyst for moral degradation. These fears, as irrational as they may seem to us now, were rooted in the genuine uncertainty of an era experiencing rapid and profound change. They were a manifestation of the anxieties of the time, a reflection of the uncertainties of an era on the cusp of a new age. Today we can look back and laugh at these fears, but in doing so, we must not forget that they were real concerns of real people. people who were trying to navigate the uncertainties of their time. So, next time you hop on a train, spare a thought for our ancestors who saw these iron beasts as the end of the world.
Just as our ancestors saw the Iron Beast steam trains as the end of the world, so to many people of today, see artificial intelligence as the end of the world. Today, artificial intelligence is an emerging technology. However, true AI is still probably decades away. Right now, what we have is simulated intelligence and not true intelligence. In the meantime, let's take a look back at past dreams and conceptions of intelligent machines that date as far back as antiquity.
Have you ever wondered how long the idea of artificial intelligence has been around? Is it a product of modern technology, or has it been part of human imagination for centuries? Well, it may surprise you to know that the concept of intelligent machines is far from new. Indeed, it has been woven into the fabric of our stories, myths, and legends for centuries. From the golden attendants crafted by Hephaestus in the ancient Greek epic, the Iliad, to the bronze giant Talos in the Argonautica, our ancestors were fascinated by the idea of machines with minds of their own. This fascination didn't stop at myths. It found its way into the mechanisms of the ancient world, such as Heron of Alexandria's mechanical puppet play, and the ingenious devices catalogued by the Banu Musa brothers. So, let's travel back in time and explore how our ancestors envisioned intelligent machines. Our journey begins in ancient Greece, where we find the first instances of intelligent machines in mythology. Picture this: Hephaestus, the Greek god of fire and metalwork, crafting golden attendants that moved and acted on their own accord. These golden helpers weren't just decorative statues. They were autonomous, capable of assisting their creator in his divine forge. This myth is one of the earliest examples of what we now call artificial intelligence. But Hephaestus wasn't the only one playing with the idea of mechanical life. Another tale from Greek mythology gives us the bronze giant Talos. This massive metal guardian patrolled the shores of Crete, throwing stones at unwanted visitors. Talos had a single vein running from his neck to his ankle, filled with a divine fluid that gave him life. When this vein was cut, the giant met his end. This concept of a lifelike machine, although fantastical, is a clear early imagining of an autonomous, intelligent entity. The fascination with intelligent machines wasn't limited to myths and legends. It also found its place in the real world. In ancient Alexandria, a man named Heron created a mechanical puppet play. This wasn't just a simple puppet show, it was an entire theatrical performance complete with shifting scenes and characters, all controlled by a complex system of strings, weights, and pulleys. This was an automaton, a self-operating machine, a predecessor of modern robotics. Moving eastward, we find the Banu Musa brothers in 9th century Baghdad. These ingenious scholars wrote the Book of Ingenious Devices, detailing the design and construction of various automata. From automatic fountains to musical instruments, these devices showcased a deep understanding of mechanics and a keen interest in creating autonomous machines. From these stories, it's clear that the idea of creating intelligent, autonomous beings has been a part of human imagination for thousands of years. Fast forward to the 19th century, and we see the concept of AI evolving in literature. In this era, the world was experiencing an industrial revolution, and the rapidly changing technology was reflected in the works of many authors. Two notable examples are E.T.A. Hoffmann's short story, The Sandman, and Mary Shelley's novel, Frankenstein. The Sandman is a particularly striking example of how authors began to grapple with the concept of AI. The story features a humanoid automaton named Olympia, who is so convincingly human that the protagonist falls in love with her. This narrative explores the unsettling idea of technology becoming so sophisticated that it's indistinguishable from humans. This concept, now known as the uncanny valley, continues to be a relevant topic in AI discussions today. Meanwhile, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein delves into the ethical implications of creating life. Dr. Frankenstein's creation, often misinterpreted as a mindless monster, is in fact an intelligent creature capable of learning and feeling emotions. The creature's struggle for acceptance and understanding mirrors the fears and ethical dilemmas we still grapple with when it comes to AI. Can we create artificial life? And more importantly, should we? These works of fiction are not only compelling narratives, but they are also reflective of the society's fears and hopes for the future of technology. They probe into the ethical, philosophical, and societal implications of creating intelligent machines. The themes they explore are still relevant today as we continue to advance in the field of AI. Through the lens of literature, we can see how the concept of AI has evolved over time, from the creation of golden attendants in ancient Greek mythology, to the uncanny automatons of the 19th century, and now to the sophisticated AI systems of the 21st century. Our perception of AI has transformed as our technology has advanced. These stories show how our understanding and depiction of AI has evolved over time. In the 20th century, the concept of AI takes a new turn with the advent of computers and digital technology. The age of automation was upon us, and with it came a new term that would forever change our understanding of artificial intelligence: robot. This term was first coined in a play by Karel Capek, called RUR, or Rossum's Universal Robots. In this play, robots were not just mindless automatons, but entities capable of rebelling against their human creators. This was a stark departure from previous depictions of AI, reflecting our growing fears and hopes for these intelligent machines. As technology progressed, so too did our understanding of AI. We began to see them not just as tools, but as potential equals, friends, or even threats. From chess-playing computers to voice-activated assistants, AI began to permeate every aspect of our lives. It's clear that our fascination with artificial intelligence is far from over. From ancient myths to modern machines, the concept of AI has always fascinated humans. So, what have we learned today? We've journeyed through time, exploring how the concept of artificial intelligence has been shaped and reshaped. From Hephaestus's golden attendants in Greek mythology, to the mechanical marvels of the ancient world, to the haunting tales of human-like creations in 19th century literature. We've seen how these early imaginings have paved the way for our modern understanding of AI. From mythical beings to digital assistants, the concept of AI continues to evolve, reflecting our hopes, fears, and aspirations for the future. Who knows what the next chapter in the story of AI will bring?
Did you know some of the most significant inventions were discovered by accident? Let's start with the humble friction match. This everyday item, which we often take for granted, has an intriguing backstory. The friction match was born from a serendipitous event in the life of a British pharmacist named John Walker. In the year 1827, Walker was in his lab when he accidentally scraped a stick coated with certain chemicals across his hearth. To his surprise, the stick burst into flames. A moment of shock quickly turned into a moment of enlightenment as Walker realized the potential of his accidental invention. What's even more remarkable about this story is that Walker chose not to patent his invention. This selfless decision allowed the friction match to spread across the globe, bringing light and warmth into countless homes. Isn't it fascinating how a simple accident could spark such a significant invention? And to think this everyday item was born from a mere accident. Next, we have a bang of an invention. Quite literally. Picture this. The year is 1847, and Italian chemist Ascanio Sobrero invents a highly volatile liquid, nitroglycerin. But volatile doesn't even begin to cover it. This stuff is so explosive that it's practically uncontainable. Fast forward to 1867, enter Alfred Nobel, a Swedish scientist with a penchant for the profitable. He saw the potential in nitroglycerin not as a hazard, but as a powerful tool. So he transformed it into a much safer, controlled form we now know as dynamite. Sobrero, on the other hand, was far from jubilant about this development. He opposed the use of his explosive invention, distressed by the harm caused by nitroglycerin explosions. The regret was so profound that it cast a shadow over his achievement, a potent discovery indeed, but one with a dark side. From destruction to salvation, our next accidental invention has saved countless lives. This story takes us back to the year 1928, when a Scottish scientist named Alexander Fleming inadvertently stumbled upon a discovery that would revolutionize medicine. While working at his laboratory in London, Fleming noticed something unusual. A petri dish, once filled with Staphylococcus bacteria, had been contaminated by a mold called Penicillium notatum. But it wasn't the contamination that intrigued Fleming. It was the clear area around the mold where the bacteria seemed to have been eradicated. Fleming had discovered the antibacterial properties of this unassuming mold, but it wasn't until a team of chemists at Oxford University got their hands on his work that penicillin was transformed into a viable medicine. This team, led by Howard Florey and Ernst Chain, developed methods to grow, extract, and purify enough penicillin to prove its value as a drug. By 1942, penicillin was being widely used, marking the dawn of the age of antibiotics. A moldy dish never seemed so appealing, did it? Our next invention is one that sticks with us, quite literally. Imagine taking a leisurely stroll through the countryside, only to return home with burrs stuck to your clothes and your pet's fur. Most of us would find this slightly annoying, but for one man, it sparked a brilliant idea. His name was Georges de Mestral, a Swiss engineer, and the year was 1941. Deeply intrigued by these persistently clinging burrs, de Mestral decided to examine them under a microscope. What he discovered were tiny hooks that allowed the burrs to stick to anything with a loop, such as fur, hair, or fabric. This fascinating finding led him to develop and patent a unique two-sided fastener, one side with stiff hooks like the burrs, the other with soft loops like fabric. He named his invention Velcro, a portmanteau of the French words velours, meaning velvet, and crochet, meaning hook. Today, Velcro is a household name, used in everything from children's shoes to astronaut suits. So the next time you fasten your sneakers or adjust a strap, remember that sometimes all it takes is a walk in nature to stumble upon a great invention. Now let's venture into an invention that keeps us safe daily. Picture this. It's the 1930s and Swiss physicist Walter Jaeger is busy at work, not on the life-saving device we're talking about today, but on a sensor for poison gas. However, as fate would have it, his device had a different idea. Instead of detecting poison gas, it registered smoke. Yes, smoke. But don't be quick to dismiss this as a failure. Quite the contrary, this unexpected outcome sparked the invention of the modern smoke detector. Just think about it. A device born out of a mistake now works tirelessly to keep us safe from the silent yet lethal threat of smoke and fire. As the years rolled by, the smoke detector became more affordable. By the 1970s, it had made its way into countless homes around the world. Today, it's estimated that smoke detectors are found in 9 out of 10 homes. Who would have thought that a failed poison gas sensor could end up saving so many lives? It's a remarkable story of how an unintended result can lead to an invention of great significance. A mistake that turned out to be a lifesaver, literally. From safety to sweetness, our next invention is a fizzy favorite. Let's travel back to the year 1866. American pharmacist John Pemberton has just invented a new painkiller. He calls it Pemberton's French wine coca, a concoction containing coca wine and cola nuts. But as the winds of change blow, Pemberton finds himself reformulating his creation. Why? Well, he was aiming to create a temperance drink, a non-alcoholic beverage that could offer medicinal benefits. And what emerges from his lab is a sweet, carbonated drink that makes the world's taste buds dance. Yes, you've guessed it. It's Coca-Cola, now one of the most popular soft drinks across the globe. So, the next time you're sipping on a Coke, remember its roots in medicine and how a simple change in formula turned a painkiller into a worldwide sensation. Who would have thought a painkiller could become such a sweet treat? From the sweet beginnings of Coca-Cola, we now delve into a different type of discovery. It's the early 1930s, and in the rural Midwest of the United States, a crisis is unfolding. Cows are mysteriously bleeding to death after minor procedures or even natural childbirth. Upon investigation, it's discovered that the cows had been eating spoiled sweet clover, which seemed to be the cause of their misfortune. Enter biochemist Carl Paul Link and his team from the University of Wisconsin. They take on the task of studying the spoiled clover, and after years of research, they isolate the anticoagulant compound causing the bleeding, decumerol. Fast forward to the 1940s, Link synthesizes a more potent version of this compound, which he names warfarin. Initially used as a rat poison, it's only in the 1950s when President Eisenhower was treated with it after a heart attack that it gained recognition as a life-saving blood thinner. Today, warfarin is used worldwide to prevent blood clots in patients at risk of heart attack or stroke. A deadly poison turned into a lifesaver. Now that's a twist of fate. Last but not least, an invention that has revolutionized our kitchens. Picture this. The year is 1946, and Raytheon engineer Percy Spencer is deep in concentration, testing a military-grade magnetron. Suddenly, he finds a melted snack in his pocket. Curiosity piqued, he decides to experiment further. Placing an egg under the magnetron leads to a rather messy, explosive result. Undeterred, Spencer continues his culinary experiments, this time with corn kernels. To his delight, and probably to the surprise of his colleagues, he ends up with a bag full of popcorn. This accidental discovery led to the birth of the microwave oven. The first commercial microwave oven, the Raider range, was introduced the following year. However, it took 2 more decades until 1967 for microwaves to become a common sight in American homes. Today, over 90% of American homes have a microwave oven, a warm accident that has been heating our meals ever since. So, there you have it. The brilliant inventions that have shaped our world in ways we couldn't have imagined, all thanks to a series of fortunate accidents. The friction match, born out of a simple scrape across a hearth, ignited a revolution in fire starting. Dynamite, while initially a cause for regret, became a powerful tool in construction and industry. Penicillin, discovered in a petri dish of mold, has saved countless lives as a revolutionary antibiotic. Velcro, inspired by a pesky cocklebur plant, has found its place in numerous industries, simplifying our lives one hook and loop at a time. The smoke detector, a product of a failed poison gas sensor, now guards 9 out of 10 homes against fire hazards. Coca-Cola, originally a painkiller, quenches the thirst of millions worldwide. And let's not forget the microwave oven, a happy accident that revolutionized how we prepare our food. Each of these inventions is a testament to the beauty of serendipity in scientific discovery. So keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep making those mistakes. Who knows? Maybe your next mistake could lead to the world's next great invention.
Thank you for watching. Hope you found this video informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We do like to know and hear your feedback. And if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where we post bonus material. Till next time, this is Geeky Tidbits, saying cheers, and have a good day.